What's going on, guys? We got Rich here, we got Sean here from Fit Fusion Brotherhood, and we're going to talk to you today about our top 3 bicep exercises you should be doing. Now, when I was a kid, I had super small arms. I got teased all the time. My nono, who's an Italian grandfather, used to call me Muscoli, basically teased me because I had small arms. Until I started doing these 3 bicep movements in my training, I saw better results. My arms started growing a lot more, so you should definitely be doing these 3 exercises into your training. The first one is going to be single arm preacher curl. So in terms of the bench setup, what you're going to need, you don't want the bench straight vertical, but you don't want it obviously horizontal. More on the vertical side, but just have a bit of an angle there. You might have to play around with it a little bit to give you the best position to make sure your elbows flush on the bench. So what Sean's going to do basically is lean over the bench, his elbows face is snug. He's got about an inch or so off the bottom position, just to get a little less pressure off the tendons. From there, he's going to curl all the way up. Notice his elbows basically staying on the whole time. He's coming down nice controlled, and he's just moving back and forth. So he's not deviating left or right. He's not going all the way down. He's not coming off the bench. Nice and secure, pure isolation for the biceps, which makes it one of my favorite top exercises you should be doing. And in a typical curl, there's really no tension at that bottom position. With the preacher curl, I'm not going to get into moment arms, make it confusing for you, but just know there's going to be tension throughout the range of motion because you have a bit more of an angle opposed to being in that vertical position where there's really no tension at that bottom 50 degrees. The second one we're going to talk about here is going to be the hammer curl. So you just standing or seated, whatever you're more comfortable with. The hammer curl, it's very similar to any type of curl in terms of the L position. We want the palms facing in though. I'm sure you guys are obviously very familiar with hammer curls. From the position, palms are facing in, elbows are tight. He's going to curl all the way up. Once again, notice his elbows aren't moving at all. They're nice and locked in. And he's just moving the arms back and forth. A common mistake, which we'll really get into in future videos, is that a lot of the times the elbows kind of come flying up like that, and it turns more shoulders opposed to biceps. So the key to any good bicep curl is keep those elbows still, lock it in as you go back and forth. And why hammer curls are, I would say, extremely necessary to do in terms of your bicep training is because it targets a muscle called the brachialis, which kind of starts more on the outside part of the bicep and crosses to the inside. If you get this muscle a little bit bigger, it actually helps with more the width of the bicep, opposed to like typical curls where it's obviously great for the biceps, but you're really not getting a ton of brachialis in there. This is why you want to make sure you're doing hammer curls in your training. And the third we're going to talk about here is a bench incline curl. You can basically keep the bench the same setup, or very similar at least to the single arm preacher curl. I love this because we're in that good stretch position. Arms are extended. We're coming all the way up. Notice once again, arms are extended at the bottom. Elbows are locked in. There's really no movement going on at the shoulder. Everything's isolated, and we're getting a lot more bicep in that position. I like this for 2 reasons. Number 1, we're seated. So anytime we're seated, we take away core stability. So if you're doing standing, which is fine, you obviously do curl standing. There's more core stability, but it's going to take a little less isolation off the biceps because you got to stabilize. If you're using the bench, you're locked in a place. You can basically let the biceps do all the work. And the second reason I like it, we get the bicep more in that stretch extended position. Anytime you stretch a muscle out, you typically see better results in that stretch position. Not all the time, but it's definitely good to mix in stretch, a little bit shorter, and also kind of play around the angles, which we did in these 3 key bicep movements today. Hope you enjoyed, guys. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. We're more than happy to answer them out and help you out. And thanks for listening.